Okay, in your handouts, you had this for homework on Thursday night for elimination. Let me just move this up a bit. Yeah. So we're going to correct this. If you want to do that on a short Friday, these are the questions that we're correcting right now. So go to page 9 and find the separate piece of paper that you did them on. This is elimination, so we need same numbers, different signs. So when we have 4x or a negative 4x, they cancel. Or we have a negative 7y and a 7y, they cancel when we add them. Okay, that's what we're doing now. So, and then we solve for x or y and then sub it into either equation. So we're going to 1D, and let's correct this one here. 1D. Oh, I think I'm... Oh, no, not. That works just fine. So we're correcting this one first. And these are the easiest ones. Usually the first step's not going to be done for you, but in this case it is. Okay, you can see that y and negative y cancel, 3y, negative 3y. This is exactly what you want. You want the same numbers, different signs. So right here, we get the same numbers, different signs. They cancel. And then you just add up these b's, like you collect like terms. 2 plus 6 equals 8. And then you divide both sides by negative 4. Your answer is b equals 2, or negative 2, and then you just sub into the other equation. Please don't write it like this. Write it as an ordered pair. Negative 1, negative 2. Anybody get negative 1, negative 2 for the first one? Right on. Seems to work. And again, you can always check to see if it works by checking closely. You got 4. Negative 4 plus 6 equals 2. Yappa. And 4 plus 2 equals 6. You're a winner. Ding, 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 ding. Now this one, this is not a word I use. So underline it where it says verify, the second dot on page 9. It says verify. Verify means check. So if I say verify the solution, that means check the solution. That means don't forget, write down the word check. I'm not going to ask you to solve and check a lot of them, but probably out of 8 questions, I might ask you to check 2 of them. So it'll be an occasional question, but it is in the curriculum. I need you to show that the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. If you sub in your answer into both equations. Okay, so it's not going to be you're not going to have to check most of them, but there's going to be a splash of them you have to check, or verify means the same thing. Solve and check. All right, let's go to the next one, which is what? Pardon me, I'm on the wrong page 9. I'm doing parallel perpendicular stuff. Okay, 4a. That's 3. 4a is next. Right here. I don't like how they do this one. Can you shut the first light off? Thank you. Perfect. But I'm going to show you why I don't like it. So I'm saying just add them all the time. Same numbers, different signs. And they cancel, just like we did. Here they subtracted. Okay, so they get this, and they subtract the 2a's to cancel. They don't need to write this down. I don't want you to do it this way. You can if you want to, and you'll get it right. And other teachers might do it this way. But when you do that, it looks like this is 5 subtract 2 equals 3, and that would still work out with 18. And it isn't. This would be 5 subtract negative 2, and there'd be a double sign here. And it just doesn't make sense to do this. It just confuses students, and it's something that you can easily miss. So it's an unnecessary risk. If you did it that way, I'd mark it right because I can understand it. But I would not advise subtracting at all. I would just advise making the signs different so you can add them the whole time. You don't ever have to worry about subtracting a negative when you can't even see the subtraction sign right here. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going to multiply it by 2. I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. In this case, the top equation is 2a plus 5b equals 16. And this one, if you distributed the negative 2, is negative 2a plus 2b equals negative 2. And then you get 7b equals 14. Divide both sides by 7. And you get b equals 2. And then sub into the other equation. I'm going to get 3, 2 for that one, 4a. Or in this case, it's just a, I guess. So, same numbers, different signs, and then you just add everything together. Those will always cancel. Get rid of your a's and b's. So we're good there. Anybody get 3, 2? Does it work? 3, 2. 6 plus 10 equals 16. Yep. And 3 subtract 2 equals 1. Yep. And here's your check. Don't forget. This one says check, but I think I cut that instructions off and just put it says verify. So verify means check. 5 is 637. And this one lines up nicely with the x's and the y's. And again, they probably do it a different way. We have a 2x. So I would multiply this by negative 2, not 2, to get 2x, negative 4x and 4x. You could also make it negative 12 and 12. They already have different signs. In fact, no, I wouldn't. Actually, it's arguable which one's easier. I still think it's easier to multiply by negative 2 because you just have to change one of the variables or one of the equations. So if you multiply this by negative 2, this would become negative 4x, subtract 8y, subtract 14, and if you added them, you get 5y equals, okay, is that the right, yeah, this is the right one. So negative 4, negative 8, negative 14, so a negative 14, not positive. And then you add them, and you get negative 11. Y equals negative 11. Divide by negative 11. You have y equals 1. And I do like this one as well, because you get a fraction. Okay, you're going to get a fraction on your answers sometimes. It's kind of like checking. For every 2 out of 8 questions, you'll get a fraction. So not all of them, most of them will be numbers, but if you get a fraction, you know that, that's fine. I can get it. Check your answer. Maybe you missed a sign or something, but you can still get a fraction and it works. And that's the answer. And again, put your answer as an ordered pair. This is where the 2 lines intersect at the point. And for this one, I would leave it in the same format, x, y, number on the other side. So in this case, if you subtracted 8y, you're left with this equation. And here, if you subtract 17, you're left with this equation. And now you can do elimination, make them 20x, negative 20x, or with the y's, 24y or negative 24y. It doesn't matter which one you multiply negative. You can make the top one negative or the bottom one negative. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer. So this one is negative 8, negative 5 as the answer. And then 6 I like. I'll let you take a peek at those. 6 says use elimination and substitution, which is what the test is on Wednesday. We have a test, so we can have math help on Tuesday if you have any questions on graphing calculator, substitution, or elimination. Okay, 6. I don't love correcting homework, but we had to today since we are online this whole unit. Okay, so this one, elimination, you're going to make this 2x or negative 2x, this 6y, negative 6y, I would make it negative 2. So there's negative 2. And that would be negative 2x plus 4y equals positive 2. And then they would cancel. You're left with 7y equals 14. Divide by 7, divide by 7, y equals 2. Both ways. So that's the answer, 3, 2. If you did substitution, remember substitution, you're looking for an x or a y, or a negative x or a negative y. In this case, there's only one chance. In substitution, you do not use the 5x or the 4y or the 2y even. You do not use the numbers, the terms that have numbers in front of x's and y's. That's not a substitution question. There's only one. If you did, you'll do an algebraic fraction, and then you're going to have a mess on your hands. Okay, so you solve for the x or the y. In this case, they added 2y and subtracted 1. That's what you get there. Sub it into the other equation, distribute, like terms, grade 9, grade 7, or grade 9, grade 9 maybe. Grade 8, when did you start collecting like terms? Probably grade 8, right? Maybe grade 9? Grade 8 or 9. And then solve, and this was grade 7. So the hard part is this first step, knowing to subtract or substitute your equation into the other equation for substitution. We did a lot of those last week. Which one do you prefer? Who prefers elimination? Who prefers substitution? That's fine. You did it first, it's what you know. They both work. So having said that, if I'm doing elimination, doesn't work out, I can try substitution, maybe, and because I might not see my mistake elimination, but instead of putting nothing or having a crazy answer like 11/58, if I do substitution, maybe it'll work out to 3, 2. So you have a choice. You can also do graphing calculator. Most of the time, I'm going to tell you what to use on the test. I'm going to say solve using elimination. You have to use elimination. If I say solve using substitution and you do this, you're going to lose most of your marks because you didn't do substitution. If I say solve using graphing calculator and you do elimination, you're going to lose most of your marks. You're going to get 25% at the most. Okay, you have to do what I say. If I just say solve, 1 out of 5 times I'll just say solve, then it's your favorite choice. You can do it any way you want to. Graphing calculator, substitution, or elimination. It's up to you. But not if I specify which way to solve the system. All right, 6, look at this, I love it. 6 is elimination and substitution question. You're going to make this negative 11x and positive 11x. When you do that, you get 2 negative 8. And if you do substitution, you get 2 negative 8. Substitution, what's your choice? What? Oh my goodness, why would they do this? I would never ask you this substitution question. Okay. Substitution question, you would need an x or a y or a negative x or a negative y. Sorry I gave you that question. I assumed they would never do that. We don't need to deal with algebraic fractions. Ay, ay, ay. Boo book. All right, let's go to Okotoks CSI. But first, I'm going to get you to pick up these papers. So we'll go row by row. One formula sheet, which we're going to use the exact same formula sheet for the mock exam and the exams. Might as well get used to it. And then some review assignments. So go ahead. I copied them last night. As I was here and also doing WrestleMania with my kids, I had to tape the football games. So having said that, I had to listen to country music as opposed to sports channels, so I didn't hear the score of the game. Oh yeah, we got a big bet, Raymond. Game on tonight. Oh, well, I'm excited. Raymond's going to owe me another Coca-Cola. I'm a Steelers fan, so. Oh no. No kidding. Maybe I'll just give you a Coke for that. Yeah, that was a shock. I thought they would be up 28-0. I turned it off after the first quarter. Anyways, I listened to the country music, and I had a very catchy song in my brain the whole night. You want to hear it? Yeah. Sounds like this. Hold my beer while I kiss your girlfriend. You need a real man, not a chump like him. Something like that. Anyways, it's funny because I don't drink, nor do I fight, and I assume if you kiss someone's girlfriend, there's going to be a fight. Next. But I changed it. Later, I was singing to my wife the whole night. Hold my Coke while I kiss my wife. You're my life, God bless you. Okay, I'm kind of wondering if I should have quit my job and I made a whole bunch of T-shirts. I don't see a standing ovation or anything. No, you know, I don't think I got what it takes to be a country singer. All right, actually, the podcast can't see. So actually, they are standing on their desks and giving me a loud standing ovation. And I just choose not to be a singer because I'd rather teach. Okay, let's go to page Okie-doke CSI, page 10. Page 10. Okie-doke CSI, so we're doing word problems, we're investigating, we're creating questions from, okay, where am I? I think I need to be here. Right there, perfect. So this is page 10. And once we create the questions from, the system of equations from the questions, we need to know what word means what in math. Then we're going to use usually substitution or elimination to solve the equations. Okay, so this one, I want you to look at it first. Remember RBSA, the steps for answering or doing word problems. R is read. So read it twice, then you plan. Try to find the equations from the exact words, then you solve, and it's not going to be x equals or y equals. We're not going to use x equals or y equals because if you have x equals 5, is that the length or the width? Why would you use x equals 5? Use L equals and W equals, so when you have W equals 5, you know the width equals 5. Okay, we have a number of dogs and cats and x and y. Don't look back, just put C equals cats, D equals dogs. So if you have D equals 57, you only have 57 dogs. That'd be a fun time. Okay, so go ahead and read example 1 twice and try to get some equations from those sentences. Those sentences give us 2 equations. Once you do that, that's it. That's the only thing you knew for word problems. Then it just becomes a normal elimination or substitution question. Now let's start with this one. And again, I don't want to use x and y. If I'm talking about length and width, in this case, larger number and smaller number, I'm one step ahead of me. I want to talk about L and S. L is the larger number, S is the smaller number. Let me move it down here. Oh, that's all it does. Okay, so difference. There's one math word. Anybody know what difference means? What operation is it? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Anybody? I can't hear. Difference. Okay, the one you see mostly is add. What is the answer to when you add 2 numbers? What's the answer called? Sum. But okay, so what do you think difference means? Subtract. Okay, so let's write that down. Those are words, key words that you need to know. Sum means adding. Difference means subtracting. If you have product, that means multiplying. Quotient means dividing. Between two numbers is. This is an important math word. Is means equals. Is 9 means equals 9. So let's go back to elementary school. When we subtract numbers, we always have a large number subtract a small number, right? So this first sentence is the difference between two numbers, means large number subtract small number, is 9, equals 9. That's your first equation. When you subtract two numbers, the big number subtract a small number, you get 9. Equation 1. Equation 2 says the larger number. Is that L or S? L. What does is mean? Equals. The larger number is means L equals. 3 more than. What does 3 more than mean? Close. Because that 3 times means 3 times more. So that's very close, and it sounds the same. 3 more than. What does that mean? What operation? Plus 3. Okay, so write down plus 3 at the end. Now it doesn't matter if the addition was at the end. You could put 3 plus if you want to, but if it's 3 less than, you have to put the subtract 3 at the end. So let's put everything at the end. So if it says 7 more, put plus 7 at the end. If it says 7 less, put subtract 7 at the end. Okay, so this is 3 more plus 3 at the end. Twice the smaller number. What's twice the smaller number? 2 times S. If it said, usually I'll just say smaller number. In this case it says twice the smaller number. If it said 3 times the smaller number, you'd put 3S. If it said 10 times the smaller number, you'd put 10S. Okay, so that second blue sentence seems like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but if you break it down a little bit at a time, and I don't care if you know how to do it now, I care if you know how to do it on Wednesday. So you don't need to do any of this right now on your own. Let's just learn it and study it and do it on the test. Keep smiling. Okay, so now we have to solve using substitution or elimination. I'm going to do substitution because L is already solved for. Okay, so now I'm going to sub L equals 2S plus 3 into the other equation. And I'm going to just write over here. Sorry, I should have told you to get a separate piece of paper or a notebook out to write this in there. And so we get L subtract S equals 9. So L is 2S plus 3 equals 9. Sorry, subtract S equals 9. So this L becomes 2S plus 3. Usually we would distribute that. You know what? Let me write this in green to make it easier to read. And now we're just doing substitution. Subtract S equals 9. That's not a good 3. Ay, ay, ay. There's a good 3. That is a good 3. That giant thing is a 3. Now, usually we have a number in front of this red and we would distribute, but we don't have a number in front, so we just collect like terms and solve. So go ahead and collect like terms and solve. And then you'll find out what the smaller number is. So 2S subtract 1S is 1S. So we're about 3. Subtract 3. Anybody get the smaller number equals 6? Yep, right on. And now sub in to another equation. So sub S equals 6. I'm going to use the L equals 2S plus 3. Go ahead and do that before I do. And find out what the larger number equals. So now S equals 6. So wherever I see an S, I put 6. So 2 times 6 plus 3 equals 12. Plus 3 equals 15. So the larger number is 15. Hi. Nope. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about this one. Oh, you use this one? Okay, so this one would be... Yeah, that's fine. No. Yeah, it'd be L subtract S. It's a small mistake. So then if this was subtract 6, you would add 6 to both sides to get 15. Yeah.
Can you just like redo the first one you did? Because I can't understand.
In this part?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just coming from here. So I'll write it in blue. So that's the blue part, 2s plus 3. Then 2s subtract 1s equals s plus 3. So just collect like terms. Usually you distribute there. In this case, you don't have to distribute. Now, we're not done. You don't want to do all this and then lose a half a mark or a quarter of a mark. You have to write the answer sentence, okay? And that's the A part on RPSA. So you write down the width. Why am I thinking I'm doing width and length? The smaller number is 6. The larger number is 15. And I probably should have checked that before I wrote down the answer sentence, but now we have to check. Does that make sense? Is the difference between these two numbers 9? 15 and 6? Yup. Is the larger number 15 3 more than 2 times 6? 3 more than 2 times 6 equals 15. Okay, so once you get your numbers, see if they work out in with your words as well. So I had one student earlier who it was L equals W plus 15. He wrote W equals L plus 15. So it still worked out, but it won't work out when you, it might work out, but it won't work out when you start using these sentences that they gave you. Okay, so always check your answer. Okay, finish writing that up, and if you've done that, go to example 2 and try to write 2 equations from those 2 sentences. Okay, let's try this one. The perimeter of a rectangle is, say, rectangle is 40 meters. The width is 4 meters less than the length. Okay, it's getting a little easier, and it still seems a little confusing. Perimeter of a rectangle is 40. Is means equals. So you got equals 40 somewhere. Now the perimeter of a rectangle means all sides added. So write that down. Perimeter. Oh boy, let me write meter. Perimeter equals all sides added. Now, I was just doing perimeter and area questions with my daughter this morning, and the biggest mistake when you have a perimeter question that students do is they just add 8 plus 4 equals 12. And they forget about this 8 and this 4. Okay, so perimeter means all the way around, and we have a formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, so this is the formula. Perimeter equals 2 widths plus 2 lengths. As you can see, a rectangle has 2 lengths and 2 widths. So when you hear the perimeter of a rectangle, you write down 2w plus 2l. That's what a perimeter of a rectangle is. So 2w plus 2l means equals 40. Now the second sentence is easier than example 1 second sentence. So this should start making sense if you break it down word for word. The width, which letter is that? W. What does is mean? Equals. 4 meters less than. Okay, close, but that was good. 3 more means plus 3. 4 less than means minus 4 at the end. Okay, so if I say I have 4 less than 10, that's not 4 less than 10. Okay, subtraction means 4 less than 10 means 10 subtract 4, I have 6. So when you hear the words less than, you have to put it at the end. Because if you do it this way, your equations aren't going to work out. Okay, so let's write down minus 4 at the end. So you don't make that mistake. So 4 less than is subtract 4, and what letter is the length? That's it. Okay, the width is equals 4 less than, subtract 4 at the end, the length, L. Could say twice the length, so 2L. Could say 4 times the length, 4L. Go ahead and do substitution. Again, the first step is done for you, so I will do substitution this one. I'll let you finish that off. Let's see how you did. So we're going to substitute this blue binomial into the green equation. Distribute, collect like terms, and solve. This is the hardest part right here. That's the hardest part for substitution. Is subbing it into the other equation. So if you distribute, you get 2L, subtract Frosty, plus 2L equals 40. Collect like terms, 2L plus 2L is 4L. And then you add 8 to both sides. And I'm not going to have time to show, or room to show my work. But when you divide by 4, you get L equals 12. You might get the length equals 12. Right on. And now I'm going to sub into this equation. You can use either equation. Sub L equals 12. I'm going to use W equals L subtract 4, which is 12 subtract 4. Not much to that one. So W equals 8. Now you have to answer the question. This one says find the dimensions. That you'll hear that, I don't know, a half of the time. Dimensions means what's the length and the width. So you have to write down. Well, first of all, before I do that, let's check. If the perimeter, if the length is 12 and the width is 8, does the perimeter equal 40? 20 plus 20 equals 40? Yep. And here is our width, 4 meters less than the length. That worked out nicely. So we write down the width is 8 meters. Don't forget these answer sentences. That's the funnest part when you get the answer. The length is 12 meters. One more thing to say. The next question you have, it's exactly like this. It's going to say find the area of the rectangle. You do it exactly the same, except for area. What do you do with the length and width? You just multiply them. So make sure when you write your answer sentence, read what it's asking you again. Because it might not say what's the cost of 1 cat and 1 dog. It might say what's the cost of 2 cats and 3 dogs. And you have to do one little extra thing. Okay, so make sure you answer the question that they give you. Okay, example 3. Try to create two equations from example 3. We all love money. Let's talk about money. Look how excited you are, flipping that page. Okay, go to the top of page 11. And you're a banker. You're a rich person. Let's talk money. Example 3, read it twice and try to create two equations from those sentences. Better record this brilliance. So I'm glad this thought came to me. If you can figure this out on your own and just say Gary has 6 $5 bills and 17 $10 bills, that's not going to be very good. You can get 25% at the most. I'm not asking you to do guess and check. I'm not asking you to do logical reasoning. I'm asking you to solve these systems using elimination, substitution, or graphic calculator. You have to do it like we're doing it in class. It might say solve by elimination. You have to do elimination. It might say solve by substitution. You have to do substitution. This one doesn't say anything, so it's your favorite choice. But you have to do work on solving systems of equations. So if you just came up with the answer, that's great, but you're not going to get hardly any marks, because that's not what I'm testing you on right now. Okay, so for this one, anybody have, Gary has $260 in $5 bills and $10 bills to spend on Avery. He has 33 bills in total. How much of each denomination does he have to spend on Avery? Anybody have any? Usually it's the hardest equation that's given by students, and then they don't get the easiest equation, which is actually the hardest because it's the easiest out of them. I know what I'm saying, but I know you don't know what I'm saying. Anybody have an idea of what one of the equations could be?
For one of the equations, I did 5x plus 10y.
5. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Okay, if I have I didn't even say, if I have 7 $5 bills, how much money do I have? I have 7 $5 bills. This 7 times 5, right? So that's what we're doing here. I call this the value equation, or the dollar equation, or the money equation. $5 and $10 and $260 go in that equation. You need the money in this equation. This makes sense. The number of $5 bills times 5 and the number of $10 bills times 10 is how much money you have. Right? Now, what the heck is the other equation that doesn't have dollar signs in them? Well, that's the hard one.
F plus y.
Awesome. Very good. Okay, so usually we can see this one, we can visualize it. This one is the harder one, but it's actually, you can see it's an easier equation to deal with. So those are the two equations. I don't care if you got them on your own. I care if you get them on Wednesday. Okay, that's the money value equations. And now you go ahead and do elimination. You could use substitution here as well, but I want everyone to do elimination because we just did 2 substitution questions. So go ahead and solve that using elimination, please. All right, let's do elimination. You need either a 5f and a negative 5f, or a 10t, negative 10t. I'm going to multiply the bottom by negative 5 to get 5f. Same top equation. Bottom equation becomes negative. You might want to do this so you don't forget to multiply the 33 by negative 5. Now when these cancel, you get 5t equals 95. Divide by 5. And the number of $10 bills equals 19. You might get 19. Yep. And then you sub t equals 19 into the other equation, and this is definitely the simpler equation. F plus t equals 33. So you subtract 19 from both sides to get the number of $5 bills. You can tell the hardest part about this question is creating the equations. You need to know how to do the green stuff, or you can't do anything. You have to put the equations perfectly. And then don't forget the answer sentence. So when I write the answer sentence, I look at the question, and I think, what is it, how many of each denomination it has, something like that. So you write down, Gary has 14 $5 bills and 19 $10 bills. Let me check it. Do these numbers work with the equation? Let me read the equation. Do they add up? Does this add up to $260? Anyone check it? Yep. So $190 plus $70 equals 260. And then do these add up? 14 plus 19 equals 33? Yes. Okay. Any questions on this one? What's the most important part? Just remember, Anna, when you're doing this question on a test, remember what she said, 5F plus 10T equals the amount of money, of dollars. Okay? That comes from there. The other one just comes from the 33, it has no dollar signs. So don't put 5 and 10 here. I've seen some students put it on both. Just 1 5 and 1 10 on the money and the value equation. The other one doesn't have a 5 and a 10 because it's just number of bills. Okay, let's go to the previous page and I'll show you what the homework is. But I have to add one homework question for you. Okay, so right, circle this homework. This is page 11. Page 11 homework. You don't have to do this. We'll do that tomorrow. So you're going to have 4 questions. There's 3 of them here, and then I want you to write down number 1. They're very similar to ones we just did. So if you get stuck, look at examples 1, 2, and 3. We did a perimeter question already. We did a smaller number, larger number question already. We just did a money value question, so this is money right here, number 7. But the one I forgot to cut and paste is number 1. So write down number 1. Write this question down, please. Right there. This is your 4th homework question, or you can start it with number 1. And you can see it's a perimeter rectangle question, which we just did. So you can refer to example 2 if you need to. So homework today are those 4 questions plus exam review number 2 if you haven't done it yet. God bless and awesome day.